In today's petite little video, we are discussing what exactly is creatine, how creatine monohydrate or any other creatine supplement works to improve energy availability literally in your brain and in your skeletal muscles. And I wanted to share with you, this is the creatine supplement that I use. It is pure microionized creatine monohydrate and it is third-party tested, so you know it's pure, high quality, and you know it's not contaminated with like any other gross molecules or chemicals that shouldn't be there. If you want to get this product for yourself, you can use the discount code Elsa25 at organica.com and save 25% off this lovely creatine supplement. So to actually get this party started, we're going to start by discussing what exactly is creatine. And I'm going to grab my notes because I really want this video to be good, so I made little notes. These are my notes. What is creatine? Creatine is an amino acid derived molecule. So creatine itself isn't actually amino acid, but it's made up of 3 amino acids. These are glycine, arginine, and methionine. Your body can make its own creatine, but it doesn't make that much creatine, but it is entirely capable of making its own. So you know that creatine is safe, it's natural, and your body actually wants it there because your body can make it. So the organs that are synthesizing creatine are your liver, your kidneys, and your pancreas. All these 3 organs, all these 3 organs are making creatine endogenously. And creatine is being stored in your brain, your heart, your liver, and mostly in your muscle. About 95% of your creatine is stored in skeletal muscle, and it has a huge functional beneficial role there where it increases energy availability, it increases strength output, it increases power output, and it even aids in muscle recovery. So sources of creatine, we know that it is a protein-derived, amino acid-derived molecule. We know it's made out of glycine, methionine, and arginine. So the best creatine food sources are gonna be your meat, fish, eggs, dairy, cheese, anything that's high in protein and high in amino acids. So meat-based diets, omnivorous diets, these diets are supplying some creatine, but only in limited amounts. So a typical omnivorous diet where you have some meat, some vegetables, you're probably only getting like 1 gram a day, which is good, but it isn't really that much. When we are talking about the major performance benefits, strength benefits, fat loss, and metabolic health benefits of creatine, these are when people are supplementing with about 5 grams per day. This is 5 times more than what your diet supplies naturally, and this is why creatine supplementation induces so many great metabolic health benefits. Another trend that we see with creatine and overall body health is that vegan and vegetarian diets, first of all, naturally, if you're like on a vegan or vegetarian diet, your strength output, your performance, and your energy is probably gonna be less because you do not have enough amino acids and you do not have enough protein to recover and repair your muscle after intense exercise. And you don't have enough amino acids or protein to even build strong, lean, healthy muscles anyways. So vegan and vegetarian diets, these are more likely to induce protein deficiency and you're more likely to be low in these amino acids. Both of these factors mean you're probably gonna have less endogenous synthesis of creatine. And this is in alignment with what we see in studies that when vegans or vegetarians specifically supplement with creatine, they see the most benefits, and especially in cognitive performance. So vegans, vegetarians, definitely you want to consider a creatine supplement. Just for cognitive performance alone, you can see improvements in learning, memory, attention, and like length of focus, like how long you can work super hard and pay attention. So next little topic is biological function. We know that your brain stores creatine and we know that your muscle stores creatine, so that might give a hint to some of its functions. It functions in energy availability, the rapid regeneration of ATP after you've spent ATP to generate ADP. I think I need to rephrase that. Creatine's main biological function is in rapid energy regeneration. And this is done primarily in your skeletal muscles when you are working out so hard, or if you're like running super speedy. Creatine is hanging out in your muscle, rapidly regenerating ATP from all that spent, burned energy, those burned calories. And your brain is especially benefiting from creatine supplementation because we know it is doing so much glucose oxidation. Your brain is consuming about 20% of your daily calories. Your brain is very energy hungry and it benefits greatly from creatine supplementation. So your primary organs that are benefiting from creatine are your brain, and then literally every single muscle in your body is storing creatine and depending on creatine to rapidly resupply that ATP to power your explosive movements. So that is the petite little introduction to creatine. And now let's go over the actual molecular mechanism of creatine, which is my favorite part because I'm a little bit of a nerd, so this bit gets me really excited. Bam! This is the, okay, focus please. This is the molecular mechanism of creatine, high level overview. So right here, this is going on in your cells, in your mitochondria. We are either oxidizing means using oxygen to break down, extract energy from a molecule. Here in your cell is using a ton of energy. You're very active. Maybe you're like doing deadlifts, pull-ups, you're on an assault bike, or you're like running super speedy. In your muscle cells, in your mitochondria, you are burning a lot of glucose and a lot of fat. If you're doing high intensity exercise or like lifting heavy weights, you're probably going to be burning primarily glucose. If you're on a walk or doing stairs, you're probably burning more fat. When you are oxidizing these fuel molecules, you are making ATP. ATP is adenosine triphosphate, so it is an adenosine molecule with a ribose and then 3 phosphates attached. Phosphate. And this is what represents usable energy to your cells. And the reason why this represents usable energy is because these bonds are very unstable. They're very unfavorable. To have all these negative oxygen charges so close together, it is just like you are loading a spring. So think about ATP as a loaded spring. This all represents potential energy. And what happens when you unload the spring is it goes like whing, and all this energy is released, and your cell uses that energy to directly power work, to power enzyme function, so neurotransmitter synthesis, hormone synthesis, collagen synthesis, or to directly power actin and myosin, the muscle contraction cycle when you're working out. ATP is cellular energy because, where did my ATP go? Because of the energy stored in these bonds. Once we use ATP, we are left with ADP, and it's like an unloaded spring. If your spring is like just sloppy, floppy, dangling around, you're not really gonna get much energy out of it. Like it's not gonna give you a big whing, and it's not releasing energy. So ADP is spent energy, ATP is usable energy. This is where creatine comes in handy. So actually looking at the molecule, let's just call this naked creatine because right now it is unphosphorylated. So right here at this hydrogen attached to nitrogen, the enzyme creatine kinase will pop off this hydrogen and it will put on a phosphate. Creatine kinase is a kinase, so we know it functions in phosphorylation reactions. In your cell, when you're burning through all your energy, when you're consuming so much ATP, doing so much fat oxidation, so much glucose oxidation, there is decreasing ATP and increasing ADP. So your ATP is high, ADP is low. This represents energy abundance. As soon as you start burning all that energy, ATP drops because you're using it, and ADP increases because this is your spent energy. This is your unloaded spring. What creatine is responsible for doing, or the creatine the phosphocreatine system is responsible for doing is rapidly rephosphorylating that ADP back into ATP so you can use that energy again. So I'll show you what that looks like. This is the phosphocreatine system. Right here, we have creatine and we have ATP. Over here on this side, we have phosphocreatine and ADP. And see, we've got the back and forth arrows. These back and forth arrows mean the reaction works in both directions. There's a forwards and a backwards reaction. This side here with ATP and creatine, this represents high energy availability. This is before you go for your sprint. As you are burning through all the energy, we are moving this way. ADP spent energy, and then that ATP to ADP releases a free phosphate. In the cell, that creatine molecule is gonna hook up with the phosphate, and now you have phosphocreatine. As soon as you have this phosphocreatine and you have ADP, the enzyme creatine kinase is gonna transfer this phosphate onto ADP and send you back this way. As soon as we're back this way, remember this side represents energy abundance. Now we have ATP and now we have creatine again. And you're still running, you're still working out, you're still burning energy. So we use the ATP and we move this way again. And it's this phosphocreatine system is like a whole entire game of back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. It's like a great big game. It's like a great big cellular game of like past the phosphate, because we have the phosphate going from phosphocreatine onto ADP, sending you this way, ATP and creatine, and then back and forth, back and forth. And this is all facilitated by the enzyme creatine kinase. This concludes the video. That was everything I wanted to share with you about creatine supplementation in exercise, performance, brain health, muscle health, blah, 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 everything. I take 5 grams of Organica's creatine monohydrate daily. This is pure microionized and it is third-party tested, so you know it's clean and it's up to standards. 5 grams a day is the dose used in most studies, and this is what you see giving those benefits of maintaining lean body mass, improving metabolic health, and improving endurance, strength, performance, and power output, and also measures of learning, memory, and cognitive function. Let me know in the comments what you liked, what you found interesting, and if you remember the 3 amino acids that creatine is made of, let me know in the comments. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and if you are interested in checking out any of Organica's collagen supplements, maca, green powders, any other like super awesome superfood stuff, you can go to organica.com and use the code ELSA25 at checkout to save 25% off. Okay, goodbye everybody. Have such a lovely day. By the way, my granny literally has heated floors, and I've been like standing on her heated floors for like half an hour filming this, and I'm so hot now and my face is so pink, so I need to cool off. And she's laughing at me. Okay, bye-bye everybody.